Hi everybody, Kathy Tooley, Tools for Success. Thanks for joining us again as we've been diving into my book, The Education System is Broken. Today we're going to talk about Curtain 24, A Parent Can Make or Break a School System. Let me read to you something that I wrote in the book. Parents are both the cornerstone of support and the catalyst of division for our school systems. Have a parent support and faith in your school, and you are on crystal blue waters, sailing together to the promised land of a wonderful education for our children. Be in the crosshairs of a ruthless parent, and your education and your school is at the mercy of their whim, while your boat, with all of your students in it, is tossed into a hurricane with no end in sight. It depends on the parents. This was a chapter that I wrote out of personal experience, and I promise you, every teacher, every building level leader has experienced that parent. But before I go there, let me talk for just a minute about the majority of you. The majority of you support your child's school. The majority of you are in collaboration with your child's teacher. You attend parent-teacher conferences, you ask what supports, you work in tandem with your child's teacher if your student's struggling or if they're doing well. The majority of you attend the PTO meetings. The majority of you attend football games, basketball games. You love your school and your schools are involved in them. You didn't say they were perfect, because when you have a building made up of humans who are not perfect, but you work in tandem. You're in collaborative. You support the fundraisers that are exhausting, over and over fundraisers, but you support them. You speak kindly of your school. You speak kindly of your school's teachers and school's leaders. You always assume good intent. While you may not understand a decision that's been made by your leadership, while you may not understand or agree with a decision made by your teacher, you support them. You're on Facebook, social media, saying kind things about your child's school. You compliment your teachers. You know when Teacher Appreciation Week is, and you send those cards in to your teachers. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. This chapter is not talking to you. And to you all, you're going to be shocked at some of what I get ready to say. Well, you may not be too shocked because you've heard them at the football games. But it's the unfortunate part of what school administrators and school teachers have to deal with. There are parents who believe that the only child that matters in that entire school system is theirs. And while I value, I'm a parent, I think there's not much more important than my own 3 children. I also understand that my children's school system was educating more than just my one child. I understood that they had an entire school system to keep safe, to feed, to care for, to educate. And then while I may not agree with every decision that the school system that my children went to, and they went to the same school system K through 12, at the end of the day, I understood that it was a system. And if I didn't like what my school system was doing, pull them out and homeschool them. If you don't like the system, take your prince or princess out of it. But stop attacking it. I don't go a day now that I am not on social media where somebody's 10 feet tall and bulletproof behind a keyboard to trash their local school system. I have lost count of the football games, show choir contests, bands, basketball, where a parent just rants and raves about their school system. I am so tired of people talking about their school systems. You are the problem. You are the problem. And the hard part is there are people that believe that because it's written out on social media, it's truth. Oh my gosh, don't even get me going on that. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But you're damaging that school. I remember as a teacher when I had to make a disciplined decision with a child, give him a detention or keep him after for a Friday school. There's no joy in my heart for that. But again, I had a line and they crossed it. And the student would come back the next day after I'd called the parent to tell him and said, my mom said, insert all kind of not very nice comments. What did you just do to your child? Does that make you feel important? The fact that you have the guts to trash talk another group of adults living in a world that you can't possibly understand? What are you talking about? I have been through a hospital before. I've been admitted as a hospital patient before. I've had some great nurses and some not so great nurses. But here's what I know. They work hard. They didn't wake up this morning. They didn't even know I was going to be a patient and decide that I was going to be their Achilles heel for that day, that I was going to be their attack. What makes some of you parents think that literally your child's teacher or your child's principal wakes up every single day asking themselves how to make things difficult for your child? They're not that important. They're vital and critical, and we care about your child's education. But to make everything about them is ridiculous. And it's destroying your school. I don't know what happened as a society that, especially as parents, that we feel by trash talking another highly qualified adult makes us more important. But whoever told you that, you're a liar. They're a liar. And most of us are looking at you who support our school systems like, what is the matter with you? You know, the whole time I was at a football game, not even, 4 or 5 months ago, and listened to a group of, I'm going to call them hens, and I don't use that word loosely, just going on and berating this teacher. Berating. Now, I no longer have kids in the school system. I simply went to the football game because a friend of mine's grandson was playing. And I thought, that'll be kind of fun. Hometown, I haven't done a Friday night football game forever. And I listened to them. They went on for over 35 minutes. There's a football game happening on the field, which I'm assuming they came to watch. And I finally just couldn't do it anymore. And I got up, of course, to my husband's, he's thinking, just let it go. And I sat down and I said, can you tell me about this teacher? And they started again. I said, no, I want to do me a favor, change something. Is there anything about this teacher that makes her human? And they paused. I said, ladies, I didn't come up here to attack you. I really did not. But is there anything that makes her human? I want you to do me a favor and think of something. And they started thinking things like rattling things off that make her human. And I said, I understand that you all 5 have a problem with the same teacher. Raise your hand if you've spoken to her personally. Do you know how many people raised their hand? Come on, take a guess. None. And I said, do you believe she knows about the problem? They said, well, she should. And I said, how? Is she psychic? Well, and finally, after 2 or 3 probing questions like that, I said, listen, here's my advice. You don't know me and I don't know you, but I've spent 30 years in a building that you're trash talking right now, and I would have given anything to hear the feedback that you said. Why don't you pick up the phone? Somebody pick up the phone. And if some of you watching this are like, well, I've picked up the phone, and that teacher doesn't listen to me. Trust me, people listen to me. I've never, ever, ever, ever not had anyone listen to me because I seek to understand first. I seek to understand first. So why was this chapter so important for me to read? Because teachers are expending an exorbitant and an exhausting amount of time on parents who actually are too busy, lazy, self-absorbed, self-centered, I don't know, to actually delve to the problem rather than sitting at a football game or getting on social media and complain about it. So in my next video, I'll talk about solutions and how we can solve those, because I don't believe in leaving any problem to rest, and you've seen that by my previous videos. But thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reading the book. Don't forget to like, follow, and share, and we look forward to continuing the journey with you. Have a great day.